Hello and welcome, my dear viewers, to this episode of Blood of the Covenant, episode 5, Greed. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and introduce our greedy vampires, starting with Luna.
Hello, hi, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the social medias, including on Twitch, where I'm back to streaming. You've probably seen me here on the Rolling Nomads playing other vampires and other things. But tonight, I'll be playing Calliope Rose of Clan Tremere. Wow, I can speak. I'm doing really good so far.
Hey man, words are hard. Let's send it over to the wonderful Syrinx.
Hiya, I'm Syrinx, she, her. You can find me on all the socials as such, and tonight I have the pleasure of playing Father Alaric Winthrop, the very chaste person in this group.
Chaste Sombras are the bane of my existence, but we love that you're here. Let's go ahead and throw it over to the wonderful Gilbert Ramos.
Hello everyone, my name is Gilbert Ramos, found ever at Ramos the Nomad. Today I will be playing Velasco Zavala Rosario Lozano, the Zamisi Anarch Lord of the Land, one with the flame.
One with the land, previously one with the fire. Let's send it over to the wonderful Huddy von Schland.
Hello, I'm Huddy, or Huddy von Schland. I'm a World of Darkness community ambassador, but tonight I will be playing Larkstone of Clan Ministry.
We love to see it. And my wonderful partner, Az.
Hey, I'm Az, or as I was on the social media, because I think I'm funny. Today, I'm going to be playing Owen Bennett? No, Omen. It's Omen now. Gotta remember that for when we go home. Of Clan Gangrel.
I'm sure that's not an auspicious omen. And we have two wonderful guests with us today. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, Abby.
Yeah, there, I'm Abby. I'm your local indigenous nerd, but tonight I am going to be your indigenous terror as Scarlet Moon, Baron, and she, her pronouns.
We love to see the Baron of South Charleston in the chat. And last but certainly not least, Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh, Ide, and you can find me at Strange Adventures on YouTube if you like TTRPGs. I'm sure you're here if you love that. But tonight, I'm going to be Randall Parks, the Constable.
Indeed, also of Clan Ministry. We love to see the snakes wrapped in the chat. And without any further ado, let us get to the events of this greedy evening in Charleston, West Virginia. As the events of the previous night disbanded and each of you returned to your havens, I'm going to need everyone to make a single rouse check as you awaken from your day sleep. Calliope, you're good. You're already at 5.
Nice.
Success.
Failure.
Success. Randall's at 2. Success. Perfect. So, we'll go ahead and scope in really quick in Omen's basement to Calliope. Your brain has been racked with these fever dreams, and you finally come to, you smell blood nearby. And in feral abandon, your hands wrap around this mason jar and bring it to your lips, and you drink. You may be a siren, but not tonight. The hunger overwhelms you. It is a frenzy that is untamable. But as this vitae passes your lips, in a stunned moment of absolute clarity, I will not ask you to reduce your hunger by 1. I will ask you to reduce your hunger to 1.
Very nice.
As this blood passes your lips and down your throat. It is invigorating in a way that you do not fully understand. This shouldn't have been more than a scrap of blood to you. And yet it feels like you nearly killed a man. It is the fullness of that feeding. As Omen, you stand across the room watching her guzzle from this jar.
Hey there.
Oh, hi. Oh, this is embarrassing.
I mean, are you done biting at the bars, or?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Feeling all right? I'm so sorry, Calliope. It's the only thing we had left in the fridge.
I'll look at the mason jar.
It's got masking tape on it that says experiment number 4, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Oh. Is this like... What was this? This was different.
Jerry, you're gonna have to ask Jerry, and Omen's gonna walk over and start undoing the locks on the kennel.
Yes, thank you. Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry about that. We after they said that. Well, did you have another trip again, or?
Yeah, I had dreams. I don't want to talk about it right now. It's pretty bad.
That works perfect for me, and Omen's gonna help her out.
Sure. And as the two of you head up to the main sort of bay of the auto shop, Jerry is kind of standing right there. He's like, "Did you do it? Did you feed it to her?"
Yeah. And see, I guess whatever you were working on is going okay. Or
immediately pulls out a notepad and looks at you, Calliope. Can you describe to me the feeling?
You're a Duskborn, then.
Well, yeah.
Okay, got it. It was vitalizing.
Okay, vitalizing. Good. That's a nice $3 word. Anything else?
I feel far less hungry than I should.
Reduced hunger. All right. If you catch any other side effects, anything like that, just please have Omen let me know. I've been working on that one for a while, and I really want to keep working on that formula.
Right.
Well, we got places to be, Jerry. So just make sure.
Shit, yeah. I got the car ready for you. It's sitting in the lot.
All right. We got somewhere we got to be. I'll fill you in on the way while you're down.
Okay, sure. Always somewhere to be.
Yeah.
So, as you fill Calliope in on the way to South Charleston, the rest of you making your way there as well to the Creole Mound, a park in South Charleston that is around an indigenous burial mound. It is a relatively short drive, about 20 minutes from where you guys are all havening in Kanawha City. And you all arrive in relative unison within a few minutes of each other.
As a real quick aside, may I make my 3 rouse checks in order to heal the aggravated damage from
Absolutely.
so long
Go ahead.
ago?
Go ahead.
I also have a question. I have 2 stains. Do you want me to resolve those now, or do
Yes,
you want me to resolve those next week?
We'll resolve those at the end of this session. I meant to resolve them at the end of the last session, but some things tied us up.
And then, could we have fed along the way coming
Sure.
here?
Yep.
Perfect.
So as you all gather here, I'll give you a moment to interact with each other and kind of get on the same page.
Since Lark was left early, Lark will say, so, what did y'all kids get up to while I was off with Boa?
I'll kind of look to the Omen Vasco and Lark, and you ever heard of a gargoyle?
You mean those things like outside of the library?
Yeah, like the
Something
things
like
outside the
that.
library. Yeah. Hit like him too.
Why would
Yeah.
you fight a statue?
Velasco is kind of covered in ash, brushed off as much as he can, but he looks and says, "It wasn't by choice, and it wasn't a statue. There's a history I think you might need to take lesson in, Miss Stone."
I wasn't one for history class or books.
Oh, I think you might
School.
enjoy this particular lesson. And who better to explain gargoyles than one Calliope Rose? Please,
Give a
if you would.
sideways, give a sideways glance to Velasco. Oh gosh, what can I say?
Not a lot, unfortunately, if you are adhering to your bounds of Tremere secrecy.
Right. A little less anal now that I'm not under my clan compulsion like before, but she will think for a moment, trying to formulate what to say before just saying, Smeese and Gangrel and Tremere used to not get along so well. And,
Oh, I beg to differ. I think that Omen's clan and my own got along swimmingly. Far too well, in fact.
I feel like there's context I'm missing, but I'm glad to see that when you walked into the fire, it didn't eat you alive.
you
Yeah.
walked into a fire?
I was one with the flame, as I explained before you all left. Oh, you were asleep. I apologize. The details get a little fuzzy when you are scattered amongst the building, burning away the wood.
How did you do that?
I am quite skilled in my practice, Miss Rose.
Miss Calliope, are you fully back to yourself?
I think so. Drank some thin blood shit, and it fed me. So I guess I'm ready for whatever we have going on tonight.
Yeah, and what is it that we have going on tonight?
I think you set up a meeting with Scarlet.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, Omen, you gonna introduce me to your mommy?
Yeah.
Well, I'm honored. I would have maybe dressed a little different, but also I'm not exactly the girl that you bring home to meet your parents.
Well, I am, so here we are.
With all
Mr.
that
Omen,
being
how is your relationship to Miss Moon?
Scarlet's my sire.
Yes, I'm asking how is your relationship, not what is it.
It's a much harder question to answer.
I'm going to interject here very quickly. As Randall, you see the cars pull up. Scarlet, you can hear the cars park. I assume at this point there's almost an empathetic relationship to the two of you where Scarlet turns her head and Randall, you know you need to go fetch these wayward kindred.
Yeah, there's silence between them knowingly, I think. And I approach the cars and honestly, I open, once they're stopped, I open up the nearest door.
Of course, here at the visitor center at Creel Mound, it's a small building, but it has a full glass wall on the other side where you can view the mound from where you're sitting. As you open the door, Randall, I don't know if you were expecting to see your broodmate. This
I don't think so.
broodmate that you spent a few years with before you made your exit. But you see Lark standing in the parking lot.
Well, damn me.
Before Lark notices Randall, she will offer an apology to Velasco. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Velasco, I'm so sorry about your weasel. I couldn't resist, though. I did ask you not to send him after me.
No, fair is fair, and I'm sure he's just fine. Probably off somewhere, found something dead in a dumpster, but I will be calling him. And if he's upset, you may offer your apology to him.
Don't hold your breath, Mr. Velasco.
And just for correction's sake again, and hope this listen sticks, Miss Stone, he's a mongoose.
A rodent's a rodent. I think that's when Lark will turn around and notice Randall.
And for everyone's visual edification, Randall is something of an imposing physical presence. Randall's easily 6.5 feet tall and well over 200 pounds, tall, broad-shouldered, athletic. He's got that kind of chin that you think it would take a mountain to break. He wears sunglasses, his hair short cropped and honey brown.
Well, as I unlive and don't breathe, is that you, Randy?
I'm standing right in front of you. And to what do I owe this pleasure?
Well, I think it is us who should be asking you. Friends, Coterie, this is my big brother, Randall.
Hey, Randall. How's it going?
And of course, Randall, you know Owen. He's the kid who ran off on Scarlet to go running to your sire.
Of particular interest to the Baron is how I would answer how this evening is.
Right.
You feeling comfortable?
As comfortable as I can be given the circumstances. Thank you for asking.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Velasco
Everyone
Zavala,
follow me.
Sordio Rosano.
Gonna save the introductions. I am not here to make you feel like you have to stand on ceremony. I am here at the service of Scarlet. I'm not the one you need to be interested in.
We're all the same. It's no issue being polite. It is a
Certainly
pleasure
not.
to make your acquaintance.
Likewise. Now, follow me.
And as the lot of you follow Randall into this visitor center, there are a few glass cases with artifacts that have been recovered from the area of particular interest to the indigenous community of the Charleston and rather Appalachian area in general. There is a small table that has been set up in the middle of the room here, and sitting at that table, a familiar face to one Omen. You see an indigenous woman with long wavy hair that hangs well down past her shoulders. She has warm brown eyes and sits with a disarming amount of grace. She's dressed in comfortable utilitarian clothes with many pockets, belt-hanging knives, and the like. She has round facial features and a stout build. Of course, Omen Scarlet's visage is not unfamiliar to you, but neither is it unfamiliar to you, Father Alaric. And for Scarlet, you recognize this priest as he walks in as well. This is the child of one Camarilla Primogen, Hank Coulter of Clan Lasombra. You remember when Alaric was brought forward to the Council of the Camarilla and presented as a child.
How funny fate is. He takes my child for me, and now his child's at my door. Well, Achene, you've had a busy night. Sit. Let's talk.
Can I have had Lark hold Omen's hand the whole time?
Sure.
And would Omen let Lark hold his hand?
I'm staring at that blood bond saying, whatever Lark wants to do, Lark does.
Perfect.
So you've all been bid to sit by the Baron in attendance?
I think Omen tries, it's the autopilot of going to sit next to Scar. And then stopping. And, just judging her facial expression to see if that would even be okay.
I describe her expression as almost lion-like, lazy, but piercing. I'm not making any moves as you sit next to this pretty little trussed-up girl, but I'm looking, taking it in.
Alaric. Alaric will take the furthest chair at the table, closest to no one. And as he sits down after Omen and Lark, he'll speak up and say, "What did you want us here for, Miss Moon?"
Still got the cami manners, I see. Charming, I must say. Well, I do owe a bit of responsibility towards my own blood, and I nod nonchalantly towards Omen. But as I said, you kids got busy last night. A little more than busy, I'd say. You basically found yourselves in the middle of a coup. An annexation. Just want to hear your thoughts on that.
I would say it went swimmingly. Apologies. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Velasco Zavala Osorio Lozano. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Moon.
Pleasure's mine. What exactly were you hoping to accomplish?
We were bid to send a message to make sure that the Camarilla know that this belongs not to them, but to us.
Tell me, I can smell the clan of the dragon on you, child. Who is your sire?
Oh, any name that I could give would do an injustice, but they've taken to calling her that which lurks in the wood. Vivienne.
Vivienne.
And, of course, Scarlet, you are also familiar with Vivienne Blake, the voice of the forest. A powerful Colden who lives out in the woods, between your domain and Elliot's. You've heard from your more rage-filled allies. You've heard that she has been a particular thorn in their side trying to probe into Kanoa City.
Well there, young'un, I'll tell you this much. We don't handle our problems so much with fists as we do diplomacy. Much as the Camarilla likes to pose themselves as the height of civilization. Lighting fires isn't going to do anything but cause problems. Whose orders?
We operated on behalf of our Baron, and operated in self-defense, I might say. The fire was not a statement necessarily made, but in his regard, but in the self-defense of a creature that took to attacking all of us. Would you have us lie down and die, Ms. Moon?
I've lived too long to say that. No, all the praise to you for defending yourselves, and doing it well. I didn't even need Randy over here to tell me what happened. I could see it across the river. But this does raise a particular issue for me and my kind, doesn't it? Your
Yes.
Baron is overstepping. What was that, child? Speak up.
No, it was Miss. Scar, you're right.
Don't grovel before me. You're of my own blood. And I didn't raise a pup. I raised a lion. Head up.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a particular sharp look from Velasco to Lark. as
Yeah.
this moon says that statement.
I think Calliope has a small smile and looks at Omen.
I will say, Calliope, if you could very quickly give me a wits awareness.
Absolutely. Gratification. Calliope has taken her seat quietly, 1 seat away from the lark. It's not next to him, but close. 3.
3. You do see standing out near the mound a familiar face. You see David from Dalgane, from your chantry, the other envoy that was sent to Scarlet's domain.
He's in the room, or?
No, you can see him through the glass window out near the mound.
Got it, okay. I'll make a note. Mental note.
Perfect. Please feel free to continue.
Would I be able to see her taking notice of what I've done with her little emissary?
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and give me a wits insight really quick.
Can do. 4 successes?
4 successes. You clock that, one, she is intimately familiar with David. You don't think she fully comprehends the nature of your arrangement with this kindred, but you do clock her making a mental note.
I have no worries, Miss Calliope. We're not Camarilla around here. We don't behead messengers. I'm just having him take a few glances at things, making sure things are safe.
No,
I
of
think
course.
you understand the caution.
Of course, I do. Quite understandable.
Especially with what happened to your chantry. Whew. Now that was a fire to rival last night's.
It was. It was.
I don't think any of us want a repeat of that. And I think all of you, deep down, even in your fledgling minds, that you know your Baron ain't making the best choices here. That's why he came to speak with me. You're weighing your options.
Omen's keeping his head up, but is now not so certain of his stance.
For my edification, Lark, how does this insinuation settle in your mind?
Lark is not feeling very positive towards Elliot.
Randall, if you could for me quickly a wits and insight, please.
I certainly can.
Could I also make this roll? As I've been keeping an eye on the coterie itself.
Sure. How many successes, Randall?
Only 2.
Only 2. Okay. And for Velasco?
4 on a crit.
4 and a crit. Okay. So, Randall, your fallout with Elliot was over irresponsible experiments and, well, capstoned by him trying to have you killed with hunters. But you recognize the hold that he has on the people he keeps close. I mean, when he kept you close, you hung the moon in the sky for him when the two of you were close. And you remember the look that you had when you started to lose faith. And do you think you see a glimmer of it in Lark?
I think Randall is not making any he's not trying to hide the fact that he is staring at Lark hungrily. And he is just trying to let the Baron do business and then just whatever opportunity catch Lark's eye, or just get a moment.
Sure. Velasco, what you clock in this moment is something has unbased Lark. This idea that Lark has seemed to operate under with relative impunity and little caring seems to have passed. The ground is shaky here. And I will allow the scene to progress. Please continue.
Young as you might be, I see before me a coterie of promising young kindred. Each one of you, no matter your bloodline, no matter whose fangs you pierced, or rather you were pierced from, you have the chance to defy fate. And you're doing that right now just by speaking with me. I ask you this. Think about it. Elliot has only benefited the Camarilla with this action of his. They have now a chance to aggress us, advance their territory, claim that we are masquerade breakers, no different than the Sabah. They'd have us all staked and left out for the sun if we keep holding sons like that. Elliot's a smart man. Mind for politics, I think you've all seen that. But I think he's in a little too deep.
I'm curious about the statements you make. What do you mean exactly? How exactly would this help egress us from this area?
The Camarilla likes to hide behind a masquerade of laws and civilization and vampires who truly care about the world they live in. Maintenance, shepherds over flocks. Really, if you ask me, it's just a big game of chess. What I'm looking at before me are a bunch of pawns. Elliot's trying to make himself a king, and all he's got to do is just put a few players off the board.
Are you insinuating, Baron, that my sire is attempting to work together with the Camarilla, or they're attempting to eliminate the Camarilla? Which one of those are you insinuating?
I think, young lady, your sire thinks himself the wisest kindred to ever walk this soil, and is gonna only destroy everyone he drags in with his self-obsessed psychotic plans. He's playing two places. He's been speaking with the prince. At least so I heard.
Yes, Mariana Jessup told me about the same thing when I was giving her a striptease the other night.
This one I like. Omen, you have to bring her around more often.
Yeah. Something.
The invitation is open.
But I ask you this, what self-respecting anarch is out here making deals with the Camarilla prince unless he's just trying to get himself a piece of the pie? It's easy enough just to throw a few of us under the bus and then rise to the ranks above the rest. He could fancy himself a primogen, even. Or if he's fool enough, he'll try to take her throne, but who knows?
I must ask, Alaric,
So you're offering to help us out of the kindness of your soul, I'm assuming.
Hell no. Look, charity don't come free nowadays. But I consider myself to be a pretty charitable woman. At the very least, I don't let my sheriff run around and slaughter people like a rabid animal. What I think, and what I'm offering you, is a chance to rise and form a community for us to live as we do, without the threat of the guillotine hanging above your neck every last moment. I saw you being born, kid. You know how it is, all them stringent rules, that constant blades dance of just playing it right, playing games, and who knows whose bad side are gonna get on because the prince ain't sure gonna like this or that. It's all too much, wouldn't you agree?
No, I don't think I would agree with you.
I'm so sorry. Could I make a wits and insight? Because Scarlet has mentioned the prince so much. Is there any wits and insight I can make
Sure.
about
Yeah.
Scarlet's feelings towards the prince?
Sure.
I also wanted to make a wits and insight. I was trying to like formulate what I wanted to insight exactly. 'Cause she's just spinning such a tale. I want to know how much she like.
If I'm not mistaken, Mariana mentioned Scarlet
She did.
in our meeting.
I mean, Scarlet, sure. You already dropped some stuff.
Are you probing for some weaknesses, Calliope?
Always.
Right. Go ahead and give me that wits and insight with your specialty, please.
Would it be alright if I also did a wits and insight?
You know what? Why don't we all just roll one? Why don't we all just?
Let's all.
I'm so sorry.
Insight for everyone? Oh my god.
Let's get
Just the
Scarlet,
office
you're just
pointing
so
guns meme.
interesting.
You get a wits inside. You get a wits inside.
And I just want to take this moment to look directly at our viewers and say, if your politics aren't a yarn ball in a vampire game, let's get the ball.
Would my specialty in detect lies come into play?
Sure.
Got 2.
2 for Omen. Great. Love to see it.
I got 7.
7 for Lark. 5 for Lark. 4 for Randall.
6 on a messy crit.
Oh, Randall's going into it as well.
Six messy crit over there for Calliope. Scarlet, would you also like to get in on the wits inside action?
Sure, I'll get in on there.
Great. 6 for Velasco. Good to know.
5 on my part.
5 on Scarlet's part. So I'm going to go around to each person, and we're going to do it this way because I think this is fascinating. So, Calliope. Probing for weaknesses around the table. You're obviously seeing some kind of intense tension between Randall and Lark coming from Randall. There is something there that you are not privy to, but whatever it is, if you were looking for a spot to hit, that would be it. Looking towards Scarlet, there is obviously some gravitas to the relationship between Scarlet Moon and Mariana Jessup. What that relationship is exactly, there's no way for you to know. But with the context clues provided, obviously they had some kind of working relationship in the past. And it seems like a tender spot that you could put one in if you needed to. Alaric looks like he's about to boil over. It seems like the politics of kindred living, if you ever needed to stick him in his place, hitting him with the politics card would at least get him to overplay his hand. Velasco seems way too concerned with what everyone else is doing and isn't minding himself. It seems like maybe hitting him at a place of outer interest might be the weakness that you need to exploit there. Omen looks relatively confused. So maybe the yarn ball and knocking him off his game with, instead of the disgust with politics, with the blatant not understanding of the politics would be a good one there. And as far as looking towards Lark, whatever Lark is going through right now, you need some context because this completely knocked her off her game. And if you want to keep her off her game, you need to keep her living in whatever she's living in now.
Okay. All right.
Velasco. You're seeing a lot of connections and a lot of threads between everyone here. You definitely have put together that Scarlet has more than a passing relationship with Mariana Jessup. In fact, with your seeking out of lies, you pick out a little half-truth. Whatever this conjecture is about what Elliot is doing, there's an element of self-interest. Yet at the same time, you pick over what could be a foul note of maybe not jealousy, but indignant rage. Omen, I can't really offer you much. This is a lot of words, and this is a lot of people posturing. This is not your game.
There's a lot of words and a lot of feelings, and it's been... I don't know if Omen knows what's going on in Omen's own head, because everything's all mixed up with Lark's blood and how Lark feels.
Sure. Randall. Something about this interaction is putting your boss on edge, which is unfamiliar to you. Even in the depths of pressure, Scarlet is usually a smooth operator. There's something happening here that is different, whether that is the introduction of her childer to the mix or something else. Furthermore, as you continue this kind of beating into Lark, you think she might be fully adrift. This might be your shot to snake her from Elliot. Or Lark. With the added context of the conversation that you had with Mariana Jessup about 3 nights ago. Scarlet's playing a game. She is also eating her cake and making it her enemy too. But is her ire for this whatever plan, whatever Elliot is cooking, real? Absolutely. And you know that she believes it. That part of it isn't just posturing. That's real. Alaric, you know that Scarlet and Mariana were close. You watched them work together for damn near 20 years before the Gangrel split from the Camarilla. Hank was not privy to the precise nature of the relationship between Scarlet and Mariana, but he certainly wouldn't have been shy about mentioning to you that the rumors are that they do more than work together. Yeah. It's certain Hank certainly wasn't shy about those remarks while he was twirling your hair and kissing your neck on the pillows. As far as your insight, Scarlet, you get the feeling and validated in the feeling that this coterie maybe didn't have as strong ties to Elliot as Elliot thought they did, or else he wouldn't have put them together. You see a lot of, I don't want to say lack of focus. What I will say is lack of commitment. It doesn't seem you are a kindred who has always stood firmly 10 toes on your business. And it doesn't look like any of these kindred even know what business they're willing to put 10 toes on.
They need a gentle guiding hand.
Sure.
I can provide that.
And with all of those insight rolls cleared, I will yet again mute myself and allow the scene to continue.
Really quick, I'm so sorry. What was my consequence for the messy crit?
Perfectionism.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Assuming this is in the moment after Alrek kind of snaps at me, no, I don't agree with you. I played off easily, casually, I laugh. Figures. You Lassombra and the ruthlessness. Explains how you got into the Camarilla in the first place, feeding your elders to those above. Should have figured. Still, I could make use of that, and you're right. I'm not doing this out of the kindness of my heart, because my heart does not beat any longer. I'm doing this because I have an interest in survival. One that I think all of you are intelligent enough to see that Elliot does not. The man clambers for power the same way a child clambers for glassware on a shelf. He'll reach it and get his grubby fingers staining that pretty glass, but it will shatter and it will destroy everything in its touch. I mean, look at all of you. Young. Ambitious. He could have put you to strengthen his barony. He could have had you as emissaries to the Camarilla, but no, here you are speaking with me. But I've been weaving a yarn long enough. What do you kids think? What's on your mind?
Inclined to agree with a number of things that you've said, but what I'm most concerned with is, yes, I can see Elliot's reach causing a problem, and I suppose that leaves only really one question. Where does that put your relationship with Miss Jessup? I'm sure it's been hindering any conversations you might be having.
I will say as you ask this, you notice just Scarlet, just her left crease of her lip just slightly curls into a snarl.
If Lark sees that, Lark will add, Mariana, or Prince Mariana, did speak awful kind about you when I spoke to her last.
You know, fair, considering that I ripped her tit to taint with my claws. That woman has a temper, let me tell you what.
Sounds like you have one to match.
And at some point you saw something in the temper, didn't you, Miss Moon?
Well, you would know about temptation, wouldn't you, Father?
How about we stay
Okay.
on topic?
I'm gonna roll composure and resolve for myself here.
Of course.
You're muted,
My
Avery.
apologies.
Yeah,
My
go ahead
apologies.
and make me that roll, Alarg. And Randall, if you could for me, please. This is going to be really niche. If you have heightened senses through aspects, I would highly recommend activating that in this moment.
Oh, yeah, he's starting to feel the tension, and he's beginning to get ready for whatever the father might pull.
Make me, if you would, a wits awareness and add your dots and aspects to this pool, please.
Is Lark still holding Omen's hand?
Lark isn't just holding your hand. Lark is squeezing your hand.
Omen's squeezing it back, but the minute things start to get tense, Lark had questions a really long time ago, all those years ago, about how Omen felt about Scarlet. And Omen's chair shifts so that he is facing towards the coterie with his back to Scarlet.
4 successes for Randall. From where you are standing, you catch a scent. The scent that ignited the true fuel of this enmity between you and your sire. This drug that he's been cooking. Vice. You know what it does. You watched the first batch of this be made long time ago. That it is meant to, in his words to you, raise up all kindred to the glory of the Dark Father set, and is to aid in the ascension of kindred kind. And of course, you know Elliot's deepest secret, that he never made the conversion to clan ministry, that he is a high priest of the Dark Father set. And you smell this drug on Calliope Rose. You smell this drug on Lark.
Mm-mm. Well, depending on the context, I think the next thing that Randall would do is kind of just shout really loudly, just like, everyone stop. And he would point, depending on what everyone else reacts, he would point at Lark and Calliope.
Really quickly, the results of your composure and resolve roll series.
So the Lark is pissed off at a lot of things here. It's 3 successes. I don't know.
I was looking for 3 as the difficulty. You are barely managing to hold the reins on yourself. Please increase your hunger by 1 for me as you feel the royal begin to take place. Please, Randall.
You two, stand up.
Come a long way from not wanting to be introduced, haven't you, Mr. Randall, to giving orders to my coterie?
In
Stand
this
up for him,
domain,
kids.
The Baron's word is law.
glance at Lark. And I'll start this
Lark.
down.
Lark will let go of Omen's hand. And she'll stand up.
Randall is going to stalk round behind them and he is going to sniff.
It smells thick in their blood. They've dosed recently. And not a small dose either. This seems direct. With your expertise in the topic and having first-hand experience with Elliot's experiments, you would guess, it's been a while, but you would guess they dosed in the last 48 hours.
I can smell Elliot's evil on you. So please, I don't know if he did it surreptitiously or whether you are willingly being fooled by him.
I hate to break it to you, Randy, but you're going to have to be a little bit more direct than evil.
Vice. Are you
What?
familiar with his product?
His product? What are you talking about, Randy? Like, Omen's gonna look over his shoulder at Scarlet, like...
Randall, isn't this curious? That he apparently hadn't even shared his magnum opus with this coterie he put together. He hadn't shared his magnum opus with at least the whole of the coterie is understandable. They aren't Setites. But it looks like even by Lark's expression, she didn't even know he was working on this.
She's thinking about Jessica. She thinks Jessica's making it for him.
Then let me apologize. Elliot has played you. He likes toys. He likes to watch you squirm. And there is a cruelty that he enjoys more than most.
Be plain, Mr. Randall. Out in the forest, we don't do well with politics. And I've reached my limit, unfortunately.
This is not politics, this is personal. My sire would not have brought you together if he didn't think he could use you and find enjoyment in your pain. So I'm sorry if he's fed you something. But whatever it is he is saying about the Dark Father or the joy.
Hold on.
What is...
Hold on. He sent us after this drug.
That he did.
If he's making it, why would he send us after it?
I have a sneaking suspicion he's lost control of his supply. He wants that control. You heard it from the Baron? You're just another toy.
Bunch of sick fucking puppies. God fucking damn it! Of course he pulled this shit. Look, he's turned you into a bunch of fucking experimental population.
I didn't get the vice from Elia.
Where'd you get it?
I'm a girl of the streets, Randall.
No names?
None that you need to know?
Don't tell me he's leaking it upon the kind. God, that man is out of control.
He is.
Of course, at this
Or,
point,
well, it is.
Randall, you've heard rumors from across the river in Camarilla territory that people have been freaking out that there's a drug that the humans are taking that through their blood is dosing kindred. And all of the symptoms, side effects align with what you know of Elliot's experiments.
Did you take it directly, or did you drink from someone?
Me. Calliope is like picking at her cuticles. No, I took it from someone while defending myself last night. A kindred.
From the cam. Gonna throw that one out there.
Oh, looks like he's playing drug dealer to the Camarilla too. Wonderful. Well, you've given me this little kernel of knowledge, and God, that man is on a warpath. He's gonna get the fucking Inquisition in here if he keeps up with this shit.
So what are you gonna do about it, Baron Moon? You gonna tear him from taint to tit too?
I might be a woman practicing the ways of war, but I know when to play my fucking cards right. You can't start with grabbing the snake by the tail. You'll just get bit. We gotta cut the snake off at the head. We need to figure out where the fuck he's getting these drugs from, where he's getting his supply, and wherever else all over this fucking county he might have dropped it at. Because now we've got a ticking time bomb on our hands.
Omen. What the train yard?
Yeah, the train yard. Whole goddamn time. Whole.
If Omen allows it, Scarlet, you're just going to feel a hand on your shoulder. And would you let me use a discipline on you?
Absolutely.
I would like to use Quell the Beast on Omen to calm them down.
Sure. Make let's make that roll.
Alrighty, guys. 6 dice from me. God, I love being so powerful. This is so fun. Mommy's home.
Every NPC that I give people, they're always like, "This is the best."
That's my mom.
I believe Zach said, "Welcome to NPC land." Last time we did, I was able to be part of Cradle of Liberty. It's a good time. It's a good place to be.
It's a great place to be, because that is 4 successes on a critical.
Omen, whatever stress you're feeling is immediately brought to nil.
Easy out, Jenny. Take a deep breath. Force it through them dead lungs of yours. We've got a solution for this. If anything,
What is the solution, Miss Moon?
root and stem. I'd like for all you to look for his suppliers. He's got storage around the city, obviously. Train yards will be a good start, but there's got to be a larger solution. A larger central storage.
I will quickly refer back to Randall. Randall, you know that he needs a thin blood to cook this stuff.
Yep.
It's not something that he can do on his own. Did he make the formula? Yes. Is it a ritual that he uses, a Setite blood sorcery ritual that he has made to make this stuff? Also, yes. But he needs, consistently, he needs the vitae of thin bloods. That's the only part of the recipe that you know for certain.
If you're going to find where he is cooking, then you're going to need to follow the Thin Bloods. He uses their vitae.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Figures, he's
Calliope,
poaching our own.
Yes.
I don't think I need to tell you that ticks a box for you. Elliot asked you if he gave you some vitae, if you could find like-blooded individuals. He has yet to provide you with that vitae, but it is a service that he asked of you.
Right.
Elliot has a personal thin blood that he keeps at the Blood of the Covenant Church. Her name's Jessica. She refers to herself as a cook, or a cooker, or a chemist, or something like that.
Randall, can you please roll me a composure and resolve, please?
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet is just sitting at this edge of this table. Heavy breathing through her hands. Fingers tapping.
2. So Randall is going to stand up and flip the table. Randall, it was almost 30 years ago to the day that Elliot told you that your wife, Jessica Parks, died.
Say that name again.
You're hard of hearing, brother, Jessica.
Jessica what?
The thin blood.
God fucking damn it. Don't play me. If you know her surname, if it is Parks...
Oh, there's a connection.
You can probe my mind, brother, if you have such an ability. I do not know her surname.
Correct me if I'm wrong, storyteller. I believe I do, correct?
Yeah, she told you her name was Jessica Parks.
No need for such intrusion. Indeed, one Miss Jessica Parks is under his employ.
I'm going to kick the table out from between everyone.
Sure.
Scarlet is still seated, just leaning back in her chair, and she just goes, "Easy there, compadre."
I want to go.
Can't go. I need you right now. We don't know how many of our own they've taken, how many of these thin bloods that they're cooking up in some witch's pot.
I
Through
mean,
those thin bloods.
I've been taking most of them, Scar, so...
And Scarlett, this is certainly not new information for you. Carrie Stoltz has told you that some of the Thin Bloods who were already living in Kanawa City, that she had directed them towards this body shop that Omen opened up over that direction.
You know, kid, I'd hoped. That suspicion of mine hadn't been confirmed, but at least you're coming clean to me now. Because this is just a flaming pile of cow shit.
Baron Moon.
Speak.
When this coterie was formed, my sire instructed me to listen to the words that they spoke, to report back to him if they spoke ill of him or had unkind or things, if they said anything that would get them in trouble. Let's put it that way. I said I would do this. I haven't. I told him I would pretend in their presence that I didn't care about him, that I didn't love him. I did that. I'd like to make you an offer. If you promise me that Elliot will, on one night, that Elliot will no longer be on this side of the final death, I will assist you and your barony in any way that I can.
Scarlet gets up from her chair, walks towards you, kneels down to your level. I hope you know what you're getting into, Missy. That man's on his way to death. We just gotta make sure the rest of us aren't on that road with him. But I will make this proclamation. So long as you are within my territory, you fall under my protections as Baron. You may feed as you like, so long as it does not violate territory or claim of another kindred here. But I will be honest, there are not many of our blood here. I've mentioned Thin Bloods, so you shouldn't have a hard time finding food, but you will be under my protection so long as you're on this side of the river. As for any direct violence from him, well, I can provide, but I think we all know how the Camarella's going to react if a full-blown civil war starts between the barons.
Well, Miss Moon,
Scarlet,
I'm still
dear,
on.
I have a name. I ain't no king.
I'm still on his side. He still thinks that I am. I can be your person on the inside.
And how do I know I'm not talking some two-faced mole?
With that, can I insight Lark?
Sure.
Inside checks.
Bye, Jack.
I need to ask, Lark, is
My
there any
check.
need for you? Is there any need for me to ask you for a subterfuge roll here? Sure.
I have a question.
I have an
The,
answer.
the last time we saw Lark, she was getting in the car with Boa, right?
Correct.
Okay, sick.
Is that it? End of question? That's crazy.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We
Wild.
got other things to deal with right now.
Sick,
I
sick,
just-
sick.
Cataloging.
Anyone making this insight against Lark, I just need 2 successes.
Oh,
I got
okay. Easy.
3.
Did everyone roll who wanted to roll? This is genuine. Lark's making a move here.
To answer your question, Baron, I can't tell you if you're speaking to Two-Faced Snake, because I have no idea who it is that you're speaking to at this very moment.
You and your words. Well, I'll tell you this much, Serpent. I have found that your kind to be quite the faithful companions. Dare I say, right hands to my ruling. I'll give y'all a trial. Prove yourselves that you're willing to defend this barony and all the unlife that dwells within it. And I might just take you up on your offer. What was it, Miss?
Stone.
Stone. Lark Stone. I'll remember
course.
that name.
Of course, for you also, Baron Moon, the surname Stone is not unfamiliar to you either. That is the surname of the Toreador Primogen of the Camarilla, Maxine Stone. And Max always talked about back in the day how she just couldn't stop her mortal family from fucking. That they were popping out kids at every corner. She apparently at one point had 56 great nieces and nephews. She was a rock
Snake in
star
the
back.
Rose Garden.
Yeah, she was a rock star back in the 60s. Real Janis Joplin type. It's a mess.
It is. Right, kids. I'm in no position to give you orders. You've sworn no fealties to me. You owe me no boons. But I will give you this suggestion. Look around those train tracks. Find this woman. Bring her to my man. And we will sort things out from here, because right now we are playing with a pit full of rattlesnakes.
What happens if we don't, Ms. Moon? Let's play a hypothetical game.
Alright, devil's advocate.
Let's say we are fiercely loyal and we are lying to you. We go back to Elliot, we let him know of your disdain, of your own connection to Miss Jessup. What happens then?
Well, what happens then is clearly, with your superior numbers and your tight friendship with the Camarilla, you'd steamroll me. I'd take every one of you down, of course. Wouldn't be difficult for me. I wouldn't survive it, but neither would you. But I am of the belief that to make peace, we must make war.
And a war indeed it is. It's just a matter of drawing battle lines, Ms. Moon. So am I to take it this is a formal declaration, at least amongst the room, of your war with Mr. Elliot?
Men's already declared a war on himself. Might as well add me into the mix.
Fair enough. My final question, if I may.
Go ahead.
Mr. Randall,
Yes?
who is Miss Parks to you? Where's that connection go?
Why do you need to know? It has been
I
a
mean-
very long time since I've heard that name, and I thought she was dead. Is that what you want to know? Is it the pain in my heart that you want to probe? Is it sore spots that you want to prepare for your Baron?
I want the truth, Mr. Randall. As I said, I don't do well with politics. It's all subterfuge. I'm a very honest man, despite what everyone thinks.
A
So
quick
in the
interjection. Lark, you can hear Elliot's venom in Randall's.
I was about to
voice.
ask.
It's eerie. If I do recall, he had a very similar tone and verbiage in a conversation he had with you right before he put this coterie together.
Yeah, so talking about Randall's as his prodigal son who left him. I remember. I'm going to say, Mr. Velasco, that's enough.
No, Miss Stone, I don't believe it is. I believe my question is to Randall. Now, if he decides not to offer me any of my further inquiry, that's up to him. We all have free choice here. That's the thing. And I believe that's what you are facilitating, Miss Moon. Choice.
That is the woman I am. When my
Oh, Mr.
clan split
Randall.
off from the Ivory Tower, we chose freedom.
Mr. Randall asks again, who is she to you?
If you don't have a reason to know me, then you won't want an answer. But if you expect to become very close, then listen in. Elliot told me that my wife was dead. And I haven't heard that name for 30 years. And now that we are such good friends, believe me when I say my eye is on you. And if you use this against me, it will hurt.
Now there is something I do believe. Watch closely, Randall.
With another quick interjection, Omen, your phone starts to play Fortunate Son.
I gotta take this. And oh no, answer the phone. Yeah, Janky, what's going on?
Hey man, hey, I'm taking, I'm taking out the old, scruff. So, now's the time to make your move. And how's, am I on speaker? Am I on speaker?
No, you're not on speaker.
Okay.
Janky.
All right. How's everything going? How's everything going with your mom? Is everything all right?
Janky, this is not the time. This is not the time.
Are you sure it's not the time? Because if it ain't now, when is it going to be, man? I mean, come on. I'm just trying to help you out here, man.
I need you to stop, Janky.
All right. Well, he's going to be here in 5 minutes. I dropped a pin.
Yeah, see, now is not the time. You got to stop with the making plans and then
Well, I can keep him tied up for proverbially for 2 hours.
I was gonna say I don't want to know. I don't want to know, Janky. That's your business.
You know what? It was proverbial.
A word is proverbial. Yeah.
Yeah, with a P though.
Right, Janky.
All right, you better get going.
I'm gonna hang up now.
All right, bye. Tell
Bye.
Scarlett I said hi.
Okay, Janky, and click. So speaking of ice, it's we gotta head out. Janky says hi, Scar.
Oh, Janky, ain't he just a sweetheart? If he's out cruising, tell him to be safe. Especially
I'll
now with what we know is flowing around people's blood. And that goes for all of you. I don't want any more zombies walking up on my doorstep.
Miss Moon.
Speak, Father.
With our help, you are going to put into motion to end Mr. Elliot.
Do you take offense?
It is a question.
I was gonna kill him even before you entered the equation. I'm just offering you all the chance to buy in now.
You mentioned how easy it would be for you to end all of us. How confident are you towards him that you can do the same?
Elliot and I have been working together for ages. And as I said, he's a smart man, a depraved kind of man. I have lived to be this old because I know when to run from my fights. And I do not know everything there is to know about Elliot. So I would suspect he has some wicked trick up his sleeve.
Your phone beeps again, Omen, with a pin drop. Right across the river, actually. It's an address that you're familiar with. It's the Charleston water treatment plant.
I swear to God, if he's making me crawl through the actual sewer pipes again, I'm gonna be pissed.
But it does come with a "you best hurry up" text.
All right, yeah, we gotta go. What?
It was lovely to meet you, Baron Moon.
You as well, darling. All of you. Refreshing to see what the youth are up to now. Revolution sparking in your hearts. And I will say, should you come back alive and cross my heart, hope to die, that you will, and I will help if need be, I will owe you all a boon. Each one of you. A favor from the Baron of Riverside herself. Now get on, get. Daylight's dying.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss Moon. Mr. Randall, thank you for your honesty.
Lark, can I have a moment?
She'll look at Omen. Do we have time?
We gotta. I'll get the car ready.
Randall,
Be
you're a
real
gentleman. Walk him out.
We'll leave you to it.
As we're walking out, Calliope will just turn her head over her shoulder and say, "For what it's worth, for how useful this is, I can find their dealers. I'm sure you know how to find me if that's useful. Pleasure to meet you."
Omen is gonna take a minute to stop in front of Scarlet and kind of just reach out and put a hand on her shoulder if she lets them.
Absolutely.
I'll see you soon, Scar.
You as well, Jenna. Keep your head on straight.
Yes, ma'am. And I leave.
Kid.
I will give a moment for Randall and Lark before we go to our break.
I just wanted to say thank you for when Velasco was grilling me. You didn't have to stand up for me.
I know, but I also know what it's like. I could tell Elliot had done something. And he's done a lot of somethings to me, so I could tell what it was.
Yeah, I can see that pain in you as well. I know you can look after yourself, but please, I know you're with a father, but do not punish yourself. Playing both sides.
Can you, Lark, give me a... I'm going to say willpower. Give me a willpower roll.
Sure. That's a lot of dice for me. One, 2, 3, 4, plus 2 is 6. 6 with a critical.
There's something about... I think Randall's the only person that's ever said to you, you can take care of yourself.
Yeah, Lark was going to say something that...
Please increase your permanent willpower by 1.
That's too much willpower for Lark to have. Oh, that's a violation.
And you feel another wall in your mind crack. And a memory surface. Your mom with a man and he had put his hands on her, and you got right up in his face and were yelling and pushed him out of the apartment. You remember you used to be strong of will. You stood up for your people. You didn't snake around the coil. That was your mama, and you weren't going to let no man put his hands on her.
And a side question. You said that Randall and Lark had spent a few years together before Randall. As far as Lark is aware, Lark doesn't know Randall.
No.
Except by
Correct.
face.
Correct.
In the same way that she doesn't know her mother's name. Except by face.
Correct.
I don't know how well I can take care of myself, Randall. Elliot has seen it fit to give me an extreme disadvantage in all things except what he has in store for me.
Well, maybe it's time for you to decide what's in store for you, because I've seen you night to night doing your business, taking care of things.
You've been following me around, big brother.
I might now. We spent some good times together.
Did we? Apparently I have a real brother who told me that I used to be smart.
And you also remember that, Randall, that when Elliot first made her, she was quick as a whip. She was witty and smart and driven.
Well, if you want to uncover that again, let me know what I need to do.
As soon as I know, I'll let you know, Randall. Unfortunately, I have no idea who I am. I'm sorry that it upset you that I took the vice.
You didn't know where it came from.
It didn't really matter to me where it came from. I needed to find out who I am, and it only gave me more questions, so it might have not been the best decision ever, but I, as far as I'm aware, don't have the track record of making great decisions.
Well, I'll tell you how I saw you. You were a knife. Sparkly, sharp. And you got the job done. Everyone saw it, and that's why Elliot wanted to play with you. Don't let him run you down anymore.
Play with me he did, Randall. Kept me locked away in that church for years, night after night. For his enjoyment.
And I think with that sobering farewell as Lark climbs into the car, we're going to go to our break. See you on the other side. Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to this episode 5 Greed. We're all taking one vehicle, yes? Or are we taking multiple vehicles?
Velasco would volunteer his car.
Lark, Boa is sitting in the RV. So if you're going for room, that's certainly the most spacious vehicle.
Okay. I hope he cleaned up.
We'll find out.
Uh-huh.
Feel free to make that gesture.
I have a rather large vehicle that can accommodate all of us comfortably wherever it is that we happen to be going.
Yeah, where are we going?
So here's the thing: is we're going down to the Warrens, Flabby. Like I told you on the way here, we're Janky's distracting Badger so we can go find the supply, but it's in the Warrens, so we got to get in, get out, real quick, like.
Right. I'm
All
suggesting
fine by
let's
me.
to perhaps take 2 vehicles in case we need to get away and not need it all at one track.
Yeah,
Mm.
if you want to, Velasco, we can take my car. Jerry got it all rigged up and everything, just in case.
I'm inclined to move my vehicle as it's been sitting all night.
Oh, yeah, them
Well,
tickets
all
ain't nothing
day,
to
I
fuck
should
with.
say.
Yeah, we can take your car.
If that is acceptable to
So
everybody.
who's going in which vehicle? That's all I need to know from this point.
Guess Lark will jump in the RV. And if it's just her and
Miss
Boa,
Rose.
that's fine.
Miss Stone,
Miss Rose, perhaps we take the RV as well.
in that case, Miss
Sure,
Stone, would you
Father.
care to ride with me? I have something I'd like to discuss with you very quickly.
Yeah, let me just pop my head into the RV real quick. And she's gonna pop her head in the RV and see. Oh God, is there blood everywhere?
No. It looks mostly clean up. It does reek of bleach in here.
Yep.
And there is a rather sizable portion of bandaging that is on kind of the jaw neck area of Boa.
Just say, how's he doing?
He's missing 2 fingers, but he's cauterized those with a cigarette lighter, and he just looks over. You doing all right?
I'm doing fine, darling. How are you feeling? You get those pain meds I told you to take?
I got into official supply.
Wonderful. You're gonna follow Mr. Velasco's car. You might be taking a priest and a witch with you. It's not a joke. It's I'm being serious.
I mean, whatever you want. Yours to do with as you like.
She needs to wits and insight that statement.
Sure. Go ahead, and I will certainly roll a
Oh yeah, I know you will.
manipulation and subterfuge.
Alright, I'm gonna rouse the blood. I'm only at 2 hunger.
We're gonna be
That's
fine at that
still 2
RV.
hunger. Yeah,
It's
you're
gonna
gonna be
go
good. You're gonna
so
be good,
great.
good.
Yeah,
No, it's good.
yeah.
It's really, really good, everybody.
Is Omen going with you guys, or is Omen coming?
Here's the thing. Omen got hit with Mom's calm down juice and is thinking right now. And Boa's in that RV. This is a bad idea. So Omen is getting into the car and being like, alright, I'm ready to go.
Just in the back seat, just like
4 does not beat 9.
Ah,
So
oh, well.
no, he's genuine.
Nice.
Of course he's
Super
genuine.
genuine.
He told you he left you. What do you mean?
All right, but well, it's precious cargo, all right? And I will be in Mr. Velasco's car. So you
Sure.
just follow us close.
Yeah, you got it. And he reaches over into the glove box, and pulls out a rather sizable pistol and hands it to you.
Give
I'm
that
not-
to one of whoever is coming into this RV. There's nothing I can do with that.
It
Except
just
shoot off my toe, maybe.
It just make me feel better if you had it. That's all.
Just give it to someone who gets into the RV, okay?
Do you want me to talk to him, or am I to stay silent?
I trust your judgment on that, Boa. I can't imagine they're going to be chatty Cathys.
I'll be right behind you.
Alrighty. And she'll go back to Velasco.
So Alaric, what you see is a man in his mid 40s, athletic cut. He has that high and tight hairstyle that's so proliferate amongst ex-military. He's got eyes that belay the same feeling. Every moment his eyes linger on you, it's a probe more than it is a gaze. He's tall, broad-shouldered. He has some pretty thick bandaging over the lower portion of his jaw and neck, and he's missing 2 fingers on his right hand. He's missing the pinky finger at the hand and his ring finger at the middle knuckle, and they look freshly cauterized. The RV reeks of bleach. He says, nice to meet the two of you. Well, Miss Rose, it's good to see you again. You must be Father Winthrop. Please, take a seat. If you need any refreshment for your condition, there's some in the fridge.
How very hospitable. Thank you.
Don't think me, think Lark.
Okay.
And you don't mind Mr. not riding with you?
Of course I fucking mind, but I don't really have much of a choice. Boa, sorry. Nice to meet you. And he holds his hand that is missing 2 fingers out to you, Lark.
I'm guessing, is there any way, like, any rests of blood on him? No, I'm guessing, no, never mind. The fingers being missing is a sign of him being human. That's enough. That's what Alaric needed to know. When he spots the fingers being missing, he and the hand being extended, he does reach out his hand and shakes it. Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you.
I guess time will tell, won't it? Please, take a seat.
Is there like a I don't know, RVs I've been on, there's like a table.
Yeah,
Like-
there's there's a full like little booth table with
Yep.
booth seats on each side. There's, couches that run along the back. There's a small kitchenette. Like, this is a dwelling on wheels.
I'll sit at the table where my eyes can see the windshield.
Sure.
I'll be sitting at the opposite side of Calliope, but I would just like to basically keep my eyes on Boa and Calliope. That's pretty much all.
Sure. So we'll quickly shift our gaze over to the vehicle that Velasco is driving now, leaving the parking lot. Omen, I assume you've shared this pin that has been dropped with you with Velasco.
Yes.
So it's about a 20-minute drive. You got to go across the river and then loop back around. So this will give you a brief moment to interact. Please. By all means.
Omen in their own car?
Omen's in the back seat, just chilling.
Okay, then Lark is also in the back seat. Ah.
Here.
As they both get in the back seat, the middle console pops up, and Solus looks out at you, Velasco.
Well, there you are.
He chitters and kind of worms his way up to on your shoulder and curls up under your hair.
If you feeling better, my friend.
So, as you enact your Pharaoh Whispers, he seems to be in the middle of a conversation, the first part that you missed. He says, it was really hard to find where the fuck you parked this thing. I mean, I've been looking all fucking night. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I went through the day.
I know.
I was smelling for you, and you were fucking nowhere, and I was lost, and I was scared.
I was
And I had
asleep in the ash, so this.
I had to fight like 8 rats, man.
But you won. Look at you, strong as can be.
Well, and he holds up his little arm, and there's a little bite mark. So one of those fucks got me. Rats have sharp fucking teeth. I mean,
you have sharper
listen,
teeth, and you are quite a larger fighter. Either way, I believe, and I will kind of turn back to Miss Stone. I believe Miss Stone has an apology she'd like to pass along, if you would. Miss Stone?
You see a little mongoose head pop out of Velasco's hair.
Sorry, but I told him to tell you not to follow me.
Is that true?
She inquired that she implied.
Unfortunately, Mr. Velasco has this thing where he likes to step over people's boundaries and push and push and push until you have to do something drastic to get him to understand that you don't want to.
Yeah, okay, boss. Can we have a heart-to-heart?
I'm inclined to listen if you have something to say. So listen.
So the whole time you are speaking, it's just like mouse noises.
I'm curious if he's
it's
actually
chittering.
talking Okay.
It's chittering and growling and
Okay,
reverting-
I just want to say while they're chittering at each other, there's something I want to do with Omen.
sure.
I think
We'll
Owen knows
get to
what it
that in
is.
just one moment.
Yeah.
As Solus turns his head back to you, Velasco. Listen, boss, I know you're in charge, and I'm gonna do what you say, because that blood that you give me, it's real good. I really like it. It makes me feel pretty good. But here's the thing, boss. I might just be a mongoose from Jersey, but consent is a big deal, I think. And you know, you gotta mind what people ask you sometimes.
I know, but the issue is, Solus, I didn't trust Ms. Locke until tonight, until just a few moments ago, and even then, it's a very tenuous business. Now, and I
She
understand.
does look like the kind that keeps secrets, so I understand your suspicions, but
Oh,
you know.
you have no idea, Solus. We have so much to discuss when there's a free moment. But I will take your advice into consideration, and I'll do better in the future. Not the
Okay.
best, but better.
Well, hey, I just want to let you know, on my way back, I talked to some really fucked up bats. And listen, the bats over on the other side of the river are fucking crazy. They were telling me that there's some creepy, ugly dude that feeds them blood, and that they've been keeping an eye on a bunch of people, and that they've been following you with bats. So
following me, following the
Yeah.
entirety of the court.
yeah, following
badger.
you. Yeah, they're following you with bats. And so I told them, hey, listen here, you're just a flying mouse and I'll fucking eat you. So I think we managed to reach some sort of understanding with the bat community here.
Excellent. Well, if I see any, then I will make my intentions known as well. Thank you, Solus, for doing your best and looking out for me.
I mean, worse than me. I gotta stand on your honor. 20 toes on business, you know what I mean?
Well done, Solus. Are you alright, truly?
I mean, I got bit by a few rats, but I gave better than I got, so, I'm scrappy. I'm a Jersey mongoose. What the fuck are we gonna do?
I'm proud of you, Solus. Truly.
As that conversation was happening, please, the scene in the backseat.
I want to make out with Omen in the backseat like we're teenagers as Velasco drives us away.
Sick. Perfect. Great.
Oh, but only if Omen consents to do such a thing.
Once again, looking at the blood bond, whatever Lark wants.
Okay, so then Lark wants to do exactly what she did to Boa, but to Omen. Does everyone do you
Sure.
remember?
Yeah. Bite your tongue and feed your blood into his mouth. Sure.
I need that 3-point blood bond.
Sure.
3 for 3, baby! Let's go!
No, you don't need it. You don't need it.
No,
You
I do
think
because
you
I have
need
no
it.
brawl. melee strength.
Go ahead and give me a rouse check, Lark.
Yeah. And like if Omen's hungry, like she'll keep making. I mean, that was a long conversation of listening to them just chittering at each other. So,
Yeah.
are you
Yeah,
hungry, Omen?
Oh, Omen's at 2 hunger right now because I failed that rouse check. And
Yeah.
cleaned out that fridge.
I'll make 2 rouse checks and give Omen enough to get down to 1. I'm still at 2 hungry.
Whatever you took from Boa earlier in the evening seems to be sating you more than you thought it would. And Omen, you may reduce your hunger to 1. And your bond rating to 3.
And she's gonna keep making out with Omen until Velasco stops talking to his rodent.
It takes another good 15 minutes, but feel free to resume that conversation at your leisure.
Apologies. Please just close on in the. I'm not inclined to clean out any stains, but if I might have your attention, Miss Stone, Mr. Omen.
What?
You are very much a wet blanket, Mr. Velasco. What is it that you want to talk about?
I was hoping to reaffirm our dedication to one another.
I was just doing that with Omen.
Well,
And you
I
interrupted.
understand that. However, as you and I do not have that type of relationship, nor, I believe, do we have an inkling to pursue such. It's come to my attention after these few nights together, all of us, all these secrets, all your sires. It's a bit of a mess, don't you think?
I mean, it's always been a mess. I'm just feeling a little better about the mess right now.
I don't doubt it. My point being, I think it's time we stopped. I think it's time we took dedication to one another a little more seriously. I'm not inclined to believe everything Miss Moon had to say. Nor
Why
am I
not?
inclined to believe everything about Elliot, but I don't trust him. Now, Miss Stone, I see something in you that's changed. You may not like me, but like it or not, this coterie that your sire formed, albeit under false pretense, we're all in this together. And I mean it when I say I look after you. I've been nothing but honest. Do you disagree, Miss Stone?
No, Mr. Velasco. I just don't believe there is such a thing as an honest kindred.
I'm an enigma, Miss Stone.
I highly doubt that.
Well, allow me the opportunity to show you differently. But my
I've
point in
seen-
this little-
Mr. Velasco, I've been around in your company for quite a few nights now, and I see that you are a person who wants to know everybody else's business, but you don't want to speak about your own.
I'm an open book, Miss Stone. Ask me anything.
What does Vivian want?
Vivian wants information on Elliot.
Why?
She views him as a threat.
So you joined the
Something's
coterie.
going on.
So you joined the coterie under your sire's impetus because she believes that there is a way in to get rid of him because she views him as a threat to whatever it is that she's doing out in the woods.
No, I joined the coterie because Elliot bid it so. I went to Elliot on her behest.
Okay.
I'm still real confused about the dedication part because, like, we've bled together at this point, so...
Yes, but everyone seems to be divided. Miss Stone doesn't trust me, I don't trust Miss Stone. Omen, you've clearly got your own secrets. We didn't know that you were from a family of hunters until last night.
I haven't talked to him since then. I died.
Don't you see that it doesn't matter? They're here now. Any preamble, any warning would have been much appreciated. But I would posit to both of you, as I will posit to Ms. Rose and Alaric. It's not Elliot versus Ms. Moon, or the Anarchs versus the Chimeria. It's us. It's all of us against everyone else in this dark world. Now, you may not trust me, you may not like me. You may not believe I'm an honest man, or an honest kindred. But what I believe, and I like to think that I have displayed, is that you can trust. That I am more honest than those that have lied to you. That you can trust me above most everybody else in this city. And if you think I'm going to betray you, if you think that I might sell you out, sell your secrets, watch what I do with Randall. Watch very carefully. Ask if need be, as I deliver back onto him his wife.
Your saccharine words leave a real sour taste in my mouth, Mr. Velasco. I don't have anything to say to prove that you are not who you say you are or what you profess to be. Unfortunately, you're meeting me in this moment at a rough time where I don't really know who I am. I can't be a person who can offer you any assurances about...
Then let me help you find out who you were and who you are now, Miss Stone.
Let's get through the Warrens first, and then we'll go from there.
That sounds like a wonderful idea, Omen.
And with that, I will quickly shift our view back to the other vehicle.
I feel like it's like a little awkward, like with the folkloric block Clive. He's just like, oh, I'm just not gonna look. He's gonna look everywhere else, but
Yeah.
father.
And I don't think it's a too far of a departure, Aloric, to notice that Calliope is avoiding looking at you at all costs.
Yeah, I think honestly, weird to say, Alaric was kind of mustering up the motivation or courage, whatever you want to call it, to talk to Calliope, but now that Boa is in the car, he sees an easy way out to first start a conversation with Boa, which seems more amicable to him in the comparison. So he as they start driving, will speak up, aiming himself towards the driver's seat where Boa is sitting, and will say, Boa, do you mind some conversation?
No, not really. I mean, what you got?
I'm always very curious when I see a human who chooses, or perhaps doesn't choose, to involve themselves in this world.
Well, I can assure you that I'm Miss Stone's ghoul. Not entirely human, I guess. Makes the bridging of the gap a little easier, I think.
You're still human. There's not entirely in there. Still have a heart that beats. You still have blood that is different than ours. You are human.
From my understanding, there are some of you, well, there are creatures like you that have heartbeats still.
And yet you are different from them as well. You could go back if you wanted to.
Sure. Is that a question?
No, it isn't. It is not up to me to know yet if you would want to go back.
Listen, Father, I know you were probably either already dead or exempt. But I stopped being human a long time before I met Lark. I did 4 tours in Afghanistan. The things that I had to do to survive there were not even slightly human. The things I had to do to get my men in and out of every combat situation we landed ourselves in were not human. And then I come back and I realize the whole thing was on false pretenses. There's nothing human about that. So you survive.
No. It is sometimes. Sometimes you try to find a lot of ways to cope with the things you have done. You may look at yourself however you do at this point, Boa, but it doesn't make the fact that you are human any less true. Humans can be a lot of things. Humans can change. Humans have a wide variety of morals, of paths they lead, but the fact that you feel those emotions about it still, the fact that all of this stirs something in you, the fact that you can still choose what to do moving forward with what you've experienced, with what you know about humanity. Those sentiments, that's what makes you human.
Respectfully, Father, I don't know shit about humanity. Or I probably wouldn't have ended up in the situation I was in. Respectfully, of course.
Of course,
Um,
you.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I'm just being excuse me, a wallflower here for a moment. I would like to roll insight on a boa, because I don't know, he's being too sad. There's more to it.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a wits and insight. I will allow you to use your specialty of looking for weaknesses here.
Yeah, I'm a rouse.
since
I keep forgetting we can do
Since I'm
that.
talking to him, can I also wits and
Yeah.
insight?
Absolutely,
Oh,
for
I
sure,
failed.
for sure.
I have 8 successes. I'm not gonna even add anything.
8 successes for Lark.
I'm a willpower because I'm gonna avoid a bestial.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay. That's not
marriage
much better.
validated.
That's 3
3 successes.
on a bestial.
3 with 1 bestial hanging.
Yeah. 3 with 1 skull.
I will not count that as a bestial failure.
Okay.
He's hard to read for you, Calliope. He's stony at best. For you, Alaric, for someone who is as intimately familiar with loss as you are, there is a loss hiding under there, but you sense no loss or lamenting at this idea that he ceased to be human long before he met Larg. You don't think that is something that bothers him. In fact, any perceived sadness of that situation isn't entirely what he's meaning to convey. You see it for what it is. It is a grim resolution that he will survive no matter what is thrown his direction. It is the guilt of someone who has done what needed to be done to live and didn't care who he had to drown to swim.
The most beautiful things that humans have as they walk around is the ability to know every day that they still live, and that if they choose to open themselves up to it, despite how hard it can seem, despite the weight that we as humans put upon our own shoulders for our own reasons, humans can still enjoy living every day, even though that may seem out of reach from some. That's where faith comes in.
Oh, here we go.
Surviving is even. I do not wish to convert you if you are not a believer, Boa. That is not my goal.
Look, Father, we're gonna have to disagree on this one, because the only redeeming quality of humans is family. And the car jerks to a stop as you have all reached the destination. I'll keep the car running. If you'll let Miss Stone know that I'll be ready to jet at a moment's notice.
So we're exiting the RV. Calliope will leave after Larg and just kind of say, "Family gets killed." And,
Or they're the ones you kill for. And he looks across the street. And he says, Calliope, if you wouldn't mind, just go ahead and open up lift up the couch seat. There should be a pair of bolt cutters in there that should be enough to get you through the fence.
Oh, sure. And I will do just that.
And it is a very heavy pair of bolt cutters. as each of you disembark from your vehicle, you are standing across the street from the Charleston City Water Treatment Plant in North Charleston. Of course, Alaric, you are familiar with the fact that the part of Charleston you're in, North Charleston, this is the domain of one Banu Hakim Primogen Keziah Mason.
Alright, so Janky sent a bunch of messages about how to get in. They don't make no sense, so thinking maybe go through the fence. That shit over there.
Yeah, I got
Scope
these.
in on the pin, Omen. Sorry to interject here. If you scope in on the pin, it specifically denotes a building at the back end of the lot, right over top of a sort of tiering between two treatment vats. And you can see it from where you are. You can see this building in the lamps that they have up in the water treatment facility. You can see that there are people at work here. This is a 24/7 facility. But out on this back end of the lot, it is a large open grass field, and there aren't lamps out here. It's just dark. The first lamps start over near the building that has been marked by the pin.
Alright, then we want to just try and go through, walk in like we're supposed to be here.
Let me do a quick scout real quick, and I'll activate heightened senses. I'll just check the fence. I'm just gonna keep it on.
Give me a wits and awareness, and add your aspects.
Okay. For successes.
You do see a few very lightly armed, maybe a pistol, a taser, and some pepper spray, like rent-a-cops, walking around. You see that, well, unfortunately with heightened senses, it doesn't just heighten one, it heightens all of them.
Oh
So
no, it's sense the unseen.
doch.
Yeah, I'm checking for wards and
Different gifts do different things. Gifts. Wow, we're not playing werewolf. Different powers do different things. Great. So
We're all
with,
abominations, it's fine.
with sense the unseen, rather, you don't see anything obfuscated. You don't see any blood sorcery sigils. Everything here looks relatively normal. There's a brief glimmer of something deeper into the lights, but it's certainly nothing that would ping as obfuscated or ensorcelled. It is something else deeper within there, but you would have to get closer and keep your sense the unseen going to get any sort of inclination on what it might be.
Okay. I will say, oh, nothing hidden here so far.
Right, good. Through the gate? What were you gonna just cut through the gate? Is that
I
your
don't know.
plan?
Paul told me to grab these.
Omen, not now.
So Fansor.
What exactly did Jenkins say that was going to be here? Did he give any inkling, any inclination?
It's the person we saw last night. Where she hangs out.
Is reconnaissance entirely necessary?
Honestly, we need to just get in, get out as fast as possible. There's only so much stalling Janky can do.
Now, I'm inclined to agree, but given our display at the club the other night, we don't exactly do quick and out and in a hurry.
Speak
Well,
for
we're
yourself, Mr. Valeska.
We'll learn on our feet is what we're gonna do. We're gonna find, especially with everything that was going through her system, we need to find the stash, get rid of it.
Since
I
we are
can-
not in Baron Elliot's domain, I suggest we at least try to get out of sight and out of open views.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree. Is this a snatch and grab?
Yeah, snatch and grab.
Are you expecting any resistance at all? The reason I ask is I can
Absolutely.
expand my senses, but I will be severely weakened.
What you should do is wait until after we need to make our way out, just in case we get caught. Best way's out. So I'd hold on to that for the time being.
So are we just standing at the fence having this conversation, or are we going in?
Or walking.
Calliope's got the bolt cutters.
I
Do you want some
Omen
help?
yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know how to do this.
So cut the fence, roll back the section that you cut,
Yep.
whole 9 yards.
Yep.
You guys make your way through the fence and across this dark field. I am going to ask for a collective dexterity and stealth roll.
No successes with a bestial failure.
Okay, noted.
One success.
You don't want to take Lark doing anything but going to the club.
I got 4.
4 successes for him and Velasco.
One success with the bestial failure. I roused and used willpower to try to reroll this. This was
Brutal.
rough.
3.
4.
3. Okay. And Alark?
A 4.
Luckily enough for you, even with your 2 bestials, which there will be consequences for in a moment, you avoid any detection moving up to the building. Now, for bestials, I'm going to say that both of you are going to fall under your compulsions, I think, for this one.
Yeah, copy that.
So, with that being said, you do make your way up to this little outbuilding. Calliope, are you looking deeper in at whatever that glimmer was?
Are we passing by it?
It's up ahead of you a little ways.
I'll peer at it, yeah, but I won't leave the group.
Go ahead and give me another wits awareness, if you don't mind. Add your aspects to the pool. Omen, I assume you're checking the door. It is not locked. There's no keypad, nothing. It's
Because the person who normally is keeping an eye out is busy. Probably here's the hoping. Omen's gonna open the door, kind of just nod for everyone to head in. Does it look like Calliope is distracted?
Calliope was kind of at the back of the pack anyway, so it's as everyone starts filing in, Calliope looking deeper, you see one of these. Well, you thought it was a rent-a-cop, but now that you can see him clearly, he's roughly, with Sense the Unseen active, roughly 9.5 feet tall, blue. His shoulders are as broad as a brick shithouse. There are 2 horns that come out of his forehead, and his clothing isn't rent-a-cop clothing. It's like Nordic-looking leather scale mail, and he has a battle axe slung across his shoulder.
A cult? Intelligence a cult?
Sure. I don't think you have a specialty in fairy lore.
No, most certainly not.
So I will say you're going to make this roll at a 1 dice hindrance, I think.
5 on a messy crit.
Messy crit, increase your hunger, please. Rhododendron was a holler witch. So you've heard a lot of stories from her about the little people, the fair folk. But this dude don't look so little. You assumed that fairies or changelings were a myth, but this certainly doesn't look like a myth looming about 150 feet down the way.
Don't look now, but there's a really big fairy man over there with the battle axe. Just thought I'd let y'all know.
Sure there is.
No, there
all right,
is.
Flappy. Okay,
All right,
yeah,
I'm
of course.
coming in.
Let's.
And
Omen thinks that it's because of experiment number 4.
as you all descend into this building, it goes down 3 flights of stairs into a sub-basement, where you see there's a bunch of tape set up around one of the walls where it looks like there's being some wall repair. There's a tarp hanging over it. Moving past that tape and parting the tarp, you see that it goes deeper into some hand-clawed tunnel.
Alright, we're going this way. Lark doesn't want to be here, so Lark is just staying as close to Omen as possible.
It is dirty, it is damp, it still smells of the water treatment chemicals and shit down here. It is not a good environment as you keep trekking through the dark. Which, unless any of you activate it, something like Eyes of the Beast or Heightened Senses and have a way to see in the dark.
Yep.
Okay.
I have Eyes of the Beast.
Alright, so the 2 of you are going to activate Eyes of the Beast. So you can be the seeing eye kindred of the parties.
Power couple? Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's totally what I said. Power couple, right. As you move deeper, you see that these tunnels begin to split off in a bunch of different directions. And every now and again, you'll hear a far-off whisper. Sound of maybe a footstep.
I'm keeping Auspex Sense the Unseen on.
Sure.
Omen says,
Since the unseen only works if you can see, though. And
Oh
it is
shit!
completely dark.
You got me there.
With all that's been described, would I be able to make a either a wits and occult or a resolve and awareness test to kind of determine if this place might have or possess or be a furcus?
With your level of adeptness in Coldonic sorcery, I will just flat out tell you no, it is not a furcus.
Okay.
The earth would speak to you if there was deeper power here, beyond the primordial might that is the earth.
Understood.
As things start to fan out, Solus is going to start nipping at your jaw, Velasco.
What do you feel, my friend?
Hey, what the fuck are we doing down here? Listen, I like dens and all, but this is crazy, man. What the fuck is this?
You know, I'm inclined to enjoy it, actually. I think I might want something from this place.
Gross. Well, I mean, this place smells like piss, shit, and chemicals, man. I don't know. What are we doing down
It's
here?
enticing. It's, we're on a sort of reconnaissance mission. Or snatch and grab, as, Mr. Ullman did say.
Okay, yeah, I heard that part. So, what are we looking for?
We're here picking up, a dealer, if all goes right.
Oh, from like the crazy bat lady?
Exactly that.
Oh. Well, do we know where we're going, or like what's the deal?
No, I was declined my use of any reconnaissance. I'm trying to be a team player, you see, Solus.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got her sent while you guys were there.
Well, let me offer your expertise to the group, and we'll see what we can vote on. Again, team player service, despite how inept everyone might seem.
Yeah. We can all be team players, but we all know I'm the MVP.
Absolutely.
Mr. Velasco, it's creepy enough down here without you chittering like that.
Well, I thought you all might be interested that Solus has the scent.
Oh, is that so?
Indeed. He'd like to
Okay.
offer his services.
I was gonna get farther down here and then see what we could do. That would be
Would
perfect.
be
though.
very useful.
Well, excellent. Splendid. Solus, they have agreed.
Yeah, I can understand him. I've been listening to you talk enough English. You can understand it after a while. Y'all think that animals are so stupid, but we come around.
Solus, I'd never in my life have thought you were stupid.
Well, not you. You're not a human. And he kind of runs down your arm and hops off and begins to move quite quickly down the tunnel, leading you through a few wraparounds. And there are a few points where he kind of chases his own tail for a minute before he finds the scent again and manages to maneuver off, until you eventually come face to face with what looks like an old, wheel handle pneumatic door. And he just scratches at it.
I believe he has found our destination.
I take back everything I ever said about golden mongoose.
Thank you. Is anyone else who would like to sing Solus's praises?
Alaric.
Mhm?
You hear something you haven't heard for quite some time. You hear the ebb of spiritual energy. The veil beyond that door is quite thin, and with your certain proclivities towards the arts of oblivion, you need no activation of any power to feel the thinness of the veil here.
Does that signify to me that does that necessarily signify to me that there has been a lot of death there, or there can be something else going on?
It could signify that there's been a lot of death there, but it also could be something as simple as there being a powerful fetter or something of that nature. Or worst case scenario, that there's a wraith that persists on the other side of that door.
All right. He will move towards the door, and I'm assuming that you just need to turn it to unlock it.
Yeah, as you turn the wheel, eventually you hear that.
Well, he will not just turn the wheel and not say anything. He will do that, but he will say, anyone needs to prepare themselves for if we see anything behind this door. Now is the moment. And he starts turning it.
It creaks before eventually, once you've turned it far enough, you hear the gaseous hiss of a pneumatic seal breaking. And as the door swings inward, light comes to greet you in the form of a few lamps. Not bright enough that it is going to put you at a disadvantage, Lark, but borderline. And this looks like a strange turn of the century style dwelling. It kind of looks like an antique smoking room a little bit, but if it was inside of a pneumatic vault, it's strange. But you are all free to enter as you please.
The minute the doors open, Omen's booking it in and starting to search through stuff because we're on a clock.
Sure.
Velasco will do the same, but more so inclined to take something back for his own accord, given his compulsion.
Okay. Go ahead and everyone who is investigating, a wits and investigation for me, if you please.
I would like.
at all.
I would like to scour secrets. I'm pulling up in the book right now. If that's okay.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna bother. I'm at a dice penalty until I make someone have a stain.
All right, let's start going around. Velasco, give me a number.
2 successes.
4 messy crit.
Or a messy crit. Increase your hunger by 1, please.
Yeah.
Calliope. In the meantime, what's your number, Alark?
4 normal. And I spend a willpower for that.
Perfect. Okay.
I spent the willpower. I got 8.
Velasco. As you search through, what you come across is it looks like a brief notation journal. It is about following drone drops, where they're coming from, where they're going, when they've been sighted, who sighted them. None of you are sure what Agatha Monroe's official function was within Clan Nosferatu, but from this at the very least, it appears that she is some kind of watcher. And it looks like there are a lot of these drones are coming and going from an address in Malden, which is a very small township down the river, just outside of the metro limits of not only Kanawha City but Charleston in general. This is not the first time Malden has been mentioned in passing conversation with you recently, because Malden is where the Hakata that you met at Elliot's little get-together have their funeral home. And
Chastity and Sons, correct?
yes. And at the end, it seems to give indication that there is a fortified Second Inquisition presence in Malden.
Is there any inclination that Chastity and Sons, or rather the Hakata, are aware that there's a connection at all?
It does not appear that she is aware that the Hakata exist, because there is no notation of them whatsoever.
Cool.
Wonderful. We'll go over to Omen right quickly. As you get hungrier, looking around, what you find is a indication of a letter being written to Mariana Jessup, where it seems to indicate that the burning star, quote unquote, has not been snuffed, and that this is a situation that should be dealt with soon, and that she should delegate to her union man, Hank Coulter, to finish the job that he started.
Given what I know, is it the Circle of the Sun?
Hard to say.
Alright.
Or Alaric. Alaric, what you are drawn to, following the binding fetter, opening your senses to the realm of oblivion, you find why the veil is so thin here. Opening a drawer, there are maybe 1,000 little green pills in here. And they all swim with some kind of essence. It feels like each of them are trying to bind the pieces of themselves to each other, not the pills in themselves, but the spirit that has been disseminated among them. And I think that truly is the moment where you realize that each pill has a tiny part of a spirit in it. If it is Elliot who is making these, he is vivisecting spirits into 1,000 parts, not only denying them the afterlife, but denying them any sense of coherency. And for Calliope, as you scour secrets, I need to know what you're putting your blood on to scour these secrets.
Fucking everything that looks important. Books, journals,
there is a rather
shelf.
thick book as you go behind the desk and open the sliding drawer. There is a rather thick. It looks like more of a long form journal and less of a note taking thing.
Okay.
And as you put your blood on that, with the amount of successes that you got, I can send you the long story later.
Mhm.
But it seems that at the behest of Mariana Jessup, Agatha Monroe was doing the same thing that you're doing, looking into who is moving the vice and figuring out and stopping them. She tracked it back to a man named Matthew Joyner, and essentially came to the same revelations that you came to, that there are multiple of these joiners and that they were made with some sort of Siamese fleshcraft. Hitting a bit of a brick wall there, it seems that she went to her people at the Masons Lodge and began to have them posing as people trying to buy this drug. And that it seems in her final entry that she was going to soon, after getting the latest pickup from the Masons Lodge, this entry being labeled the night before last, that she was going to present her findings to Mariana Jessup, that conclusively the kindred behind this pushing of vice is none other than the Banu Hakim Primogen Keziah Mason.
Right. Okay, I'll so sorry, Syrinx. I'm just going to kind of pipe up and say, anybody know the name Keziah Mason?
He is the Camarilla Banu Hakim Primogen. Alaric is picking up these pills and doing that in the meantime.
And any of you casting an errant look over towards Alaric, they're filling their fists full of vice.
All right, let's get all that. We'll put it in something and get it out of here. You said the Primogen? Joyner said that he didn't know anything about Primogen. Oh.
But he did say it was
on Hakim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Well, Agatha concluded that it was coming from him, but with what we learned tonight...
Yeah. I mean, he might be selling it for Elliot. Scar was talking about, and we shouldn't be talking here. We need to get going.
At that point,
I'll also say Alaric isn't good at manipulating and hiding stuff. So he would, like, when you mentioned Keziah, he would, or say like, oh, it's coming from him. He would stop like picking up the fights and stuff. But that's like the only show. But go ahead.
At that point, all of you are startled quickly by the quick flapping of wings as a bat flies out of the corner of this room and out into the hallway.
Oh, fuck me sideways. We gotta get out of here. Come on.
Yep. Do we have all the vice?
Even if they don't have all of it, I think it's just time to book it. So I think Alaric stops that and just also makes it a move like, it does not matter, we need to go.
Okay.
Right, Lark, you ready?
Yeah, Lark was not leaving your side, so whatever you were grabbing or handing to Lark would just take.
I think that's how it was going. It's just like, all right, hold on this, hold on this.
Bagman, that's me.
As you all begin to leave the room at a quickened pace,
Can I take the sick journal and slide it into my bag?
Into your bag? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't want evidence that it was my sorcery.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You slip that into your bag, and as you're running out, you hear the light echoing twangs of a guitar beginning to play. So back at the Creel Mound, with whatever the aftermath of that of the leaving of this coterie was, it now sets to Randall, Scarlet, and David standing in the visitor center of the Creel Mound. As David looks up. Are y'all sure that went well? I mean, I'm not super convinced on what happened there. Listen, I've known Calliope a long time, and I've never seen her off Rhododendron's tit. So,
Negotiation, my dear, is an art. And with this case, we just have to make adjustments on each side. They have to show that they're worth their shit, which I'm sure your companion is. And we have to show that we stand by our promises.
Yeah, I know. Look, I just got to be clear with the both of you. Look, I know, Randall, we haven't exactly had a sterling work history together or anything like that. You can't trust Rhododendron, and even if we do end up in control of Kanawa City, you're gonna have to fucking deal with her. And I know you've heard the stories that Rhododendron burnt down the Chantry herself. That's categorically untrue. She used Calliope to burn the Chantry down. She's a kinslayer, and I don't think she's going to stop anytime soon.
That's fine. We will burn that bridge when we get to it.
That's a good joke. And it's at that point, Scarlet, that your phone begins to ring.
Shit, give me a second. You got Scarlet?
Hey, Scar, it's me, Janky. I think we got a bit of a fucking problem.
What's going on? You tried that asphyxiation thing again?
No. I didn't kill anybody this time. Look, I sent Omen and his coterie into the Warrens to do some investigation. I was gonna keep,
You sent
Badger.
it to the fucking Warrens?
They needed to investigate some shit, and I knew where the person that they needed to investigate was, and they were in the war. Well, they used to be in the war and still. Well, now they're dead. Anyway, it doesn't matter, Scar. Listen.
Hey, you better give me a fucking answer. Where are they?
They're at the water treatment plant. Badger left in a hurry. You need to send somebody over there right now. I'm worried.
I just hang up immediately. Randall, get the car. We're going. We're going to the water treatment facility. Kids are caught up in the Warren.
Oh, damn it. All right. Yes, ma'am.
And as Randall goes to fetch Scarlet's 1968 Dodge Challenger, that is where we will end this session. Episode 5, Greed. Thank you all so much for being here with me. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.